And slams Trump after his security clearance is revoked by Christina Layla for the GatewayPundit.com. On Wednesday, Sarah Sanders announced President Trump revoked ex-CIA Chief John Brennan's security clearance during a press briefing. Historically, former heads of intelligence and law enforcement agencies have been allowed to retain access to classified information after their government service so that they can consult with their successors regarding matters about which they may have special insights. And as a professional courtesy, neither of these justifications support Mr. Brennan's continued access to classified information. Watch Sarah Sanders deliver the breaking news. It's music to our ears. Yes. POTUS revoked security clearance for former CIA director.
As the head of the executive branch and commander-in-chief, I have a unique constitutional responsibility to protect the nation's classified information, including by controlling access to it. Today, in fulfilling that responsibility, I've decided to revoke the security clearance of John Brennan, former director of the Central Intelligence Agency. Historically, former heads of intelligence and law enforcement agencies have been allowed to retain access to classified information after their government service so that they can consult with their successors regarding matters about which they may have special insights and as a professional courtesy. Neither of these justifications supports Mr. Brennan's continued access to classified information. First, at this point in my administration, any benefits that senior officials might glean from consultations with Mr. Brennan are now outweighed by the risks posed by his erratic conduct and behavior. Second, that conduct and behavior has tested and far exceeded the limits of any professional courtesy that may have been due to him. Mr. Brennan has a history that calls into question his objectivity and credibility. In 2014, for example, he denied to Congress that CIA officials under his supervision had improperly accessed the computer files of congressional staffers. He told the Council of Foreign Relations that the CIA would never do such a thing. The CIA's Inspector General, however, contradicted Mr. Brennan directly, concluding unequivocally that agency officials had indeed improperly accessed congressional staffers' files. More recently, Mr. Brennan told Congress that the intelligence community did not make use of the so-called Steele dossier in an assessment regarding the 2016 election, an assertion contradicted by at least two other senior officials in the intelligence community and all of the facts. Additionally, Mr. Brennan has recently leveraged his status as a former high-ranking official with access to highly sensitive information to make a series of unfounded and outrageous allegations, wild outbursts on the internet and television about this administration. Mr. Brennan's lying and recent conduct, characterized by increasingly frenzied commentary, is wholly inconsistent with access to the nation's most closely held secrets and facilities, the very aim of our adversaries, which is to sow division and chaos. More broadly, the issue of Mr. Brennan's security clearance raises larger questions about the practice of former officials maintaining access to our nation's most sensitive secrets long after their time in government has ended. Such access is particularly inappropriate when former officials have transitioned into highly partisan positions and seek to use real or perceived access to sensitive information to validate their political attacks. Any access granted to our nation's secrets should be in furtherance of national, not personal interest. For this reason, I've also begun to review the more general question of the access to classified information by government officials. As part of this review, I am evaluating action with respect to the following individuals: James Clapper, James Comey, Michael Hayden, Sally Yates, Susan Rice, Andrew McCabe, Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, and Bruce Orr. Security clearances for those who still have them may be revoked, and those who have already lost their security clearance may not be able to have it reinstated. It is for the foregoing reasons that I have exercised my constitutional authority to deny Mr. Brennan access to classified information, and I will direct appropriate staff of the National Security Council to make the necessary arrangements with the appropriate agencies to implement this determination.
Well, it's about time, I would say, right? Ex-CIA Chief John Brennan slammed Trump Wednesday afternoon and vowed, "I will not relent. Who cares? You're on your way to Gitmo." Brennan said Trump's decision to pull his security clearance is part of a broader effort to suppress freedom of speech and punish critics. Yeah, right, Brennan. Brennan tweeted, "This action is part of a broader effort by Mr. Trump to suppress freedom of speech and punish critics. It should gravely worry all Americans, including intelligence professionals, about the cost of speaking out." In other words, what he's saying is what's done to conservatives. "My principles are worth far more than clearances. I will not relent." Yeah, you won't relent. You better lawyer up because you're on your way to Gitmo for lying. This issue was brought up in July by Senator Rand Paul, who said he would be meeting with Trump about revoking the security clearance of John Brennan. He is unhinged, reported the Gateway pundit's Cassandra Fairbanks. In a July press briefing, Sarah Sanders named former Obama CIA Director John Brennan, former George W. Bush CIA Director Michael Hayden, former Obama National Security Advisor Susan Rice, fired FBI Director James Comey, fired Deputy FBI Director Andrew McCabe, and former Obama Director of National Intelligence James Clapper as people who may have their security clearances revoked. John Brennan routinely attacks President Trump from his Twitter account and called Trump's meeting with Putin in Helsinki treasonous. And you know, the ones that accuse them of this the same ones are guilty of it. Brennan is treasonous. Brennan previously warned the president about Mueller's investigation, saying, "Stay tuned, Mr. Trump." John Brennan was involved in this attempted coup, which is why he's lashing out on his Twitter account, because he knows he's heading to Gitmo. In fact, Chairman Nunes is currently investigating whether John Brennan perjured himself in a public testimony about the dossier. I can't understand what's taking so long. You should have known that within an hour of looking at the tapes. On Monday, Rudy Giuliani told Sean Hannity that John Brennan was the quarterback for Spygate and should be in front of a grand jury. So what does that tell you? Come on. You have traitors working behind the scenes against this country, okay? So enough is enough, Brennan. Get yourself lawyered up because you're going to Gitmo for lying under oath. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.